my God. Oh, geez. This is horrible. Hey guys, it's your girl Lane Shay K, Geek XX Chic, and we are here with another reaction to A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. We're now on to episode 5, which is called In the Name of the Mother. And we know the Mother is one of the many gods that they've got there, or the saints, one of the 7. There we go, one of the 7. It's been a minute, guys. I really got to go back and read a Game of Thrones book. In the last episode, we had the beginning of the Trial of 7, and that was kicked off because our poor guy Dunk tried to help. He tried to do the right thing and save the people he cared about, and he just put his hands on the wrong people. So anyways, there was a Trial of 7 that was the challenge dropped by Aerion, and Dunk thought he was going to be in big trouble, but it turned out there were some people who very much have already formed a respect, shall we say, for Dunk and what he represents. But also Egg managed to go and grab Lionel Baratheon to help him out, and then we see at the last moment that Baelor himself decided to step in and make up the numbers for Dunk, and I believe it's because he does believe that Dunk's cause is righteous. He doesn't think that Dunk should have to die, at least not for this. So we were just about to jump into the tournament when the last episode ended, so I'm very excited to see how this is going to go. I think my early predictions is, nothing's going to happen to Aerion. They've already said that. His father Maker is going to be fine as well. I'm just hoping that there isn't, I don't know, I've grown attached to Lionel, so I'm hoping that he's going to be fine, but we're just going to have to see. So let's jump in, but just before I do, a reminder to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can know when I drop episodes. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now.
Do not panic.
Panicking?
Remain in formation.
Try.
Keep your mounts as long as you can.
That's the point.
They will fight savagely.
They will.
As will we, my lord.
Oh, the way Egan looked directly at Dunk when he said, "See you dead." Ew!
Take heart, Beesbury. I will handle the king's guard.
Okay.
Their oath forbids them to harm a prince of the blood.
Hey, we love a little bit of nepotism.
The gods will let us know.
Right? He's like, we use with the
Mother
advantage
loves you
we've
best,
got. Aw, he did.
Shame. No man fights so fierce as one neglected by his mother.
That's a good point.
Sir.
My lance, squire.
He knows you're worried, but I don't think he can carry your worry right now. Again, he's got to do his thing.
Rob me, and I'll hunt you down. With dogs.
He's like, I'm going to be back. Don't worry. He's so cute. He's worried. He's seen enough to be validly worried. Tension right out the gate. Okay. Damn, those eyes are huge. Really? God couldn't give us some sunlight today? That would have been very helpful. The sound design is great. How they're muffling out all the noises and the animals. Dunk. Thank God Egg trained the horse. Lost the lance, but he stayed upright. Oh! Ow! Oh! Oh! Damn, okay. Don't pull it out. Don't pull it out. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Now you're gonna bleed. Okay. Wow. Not the shield. Well, that went great. It's a flashback, I think. I mean, it sucks, but that's very valid. I really didn't. Oh, geez, you're still here? I'm so sorry. But yeah, I was saying, I'm glad they showed a realistic depiction. Dunk doesn't have experience in this. Plus, he was scared. Yeah.
Don't. What the fuck are you doing?
I mean, is it not a mercy? A seal of what? He is dying.
If we can get him off the hill, might someone pay us for his ransom? Quick.
That is smarter. I don't like the sound. Did he die?
Fuck.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna make it. He's been laying there for God knows how long, probably bleeding out internally. It's worth a try, though.
Check his mouth. I know a witch who pays copper for teeth.
You get what you gotta get. Where have I seen this actress before? The face is familiar.
He was crying for his mother.
Yeah, what's she gonna do? Left a fucking horse off his legs.
Wow, so young yet so bitter.
The Black Dragon's dead. Ferret said we're all to get free bread now.
Are you stupid?
Leave him.
Don't you remember when Puddin killed Cedric's little brother?
That was an accident.
Aye, and we all figured that'd be the end to it. Only for Cedric to come back a year later and near burned on half a flea bottom trying to kill Puddin. No one forgets shit.
That's
You
true.
hurt someone, they hurt you back.
In most cases.
But flea bottom is full upon people hurting. It's tender wind to catch.
Bitter but true. And it doesn't look like you're doing so well in Flea Bottom, my friend.
Rafe.
Why are so many people injured? Oh, she's protecting him.
What's in the bag?
Rats.
But it just rattled.
Oh.
Why'd you shake the bag, Dunk? Good kids. Glad you're slippery. Did they steal from you in the...
An evil bastard was about to steal our shit, so I stole his.
That's not
I
what
mean,
meant.
tit for tat, baby.
Damon's rebellion is over. Take your Blackfire leather elsewhere.
Damon. Okay. Not sure which Damon. There's quite a few of them.
Hey, don't lose your nerve now.
What are we
Shit
doing?
cook's done.
It's feeling like something we're not supposed to be doing as children.
What if the free cities are no better than here?
You're not going to know till you go.
What if they're worse?
Then we'll go someplace
Exactly.
else.
There's always another
What if
place
it's
to
all
go.
Shit?
Okay, Dunk.
This is the best there is.
That is the kind of thinking that keeps you trapped in
That
hell.
would be quite sad.
But we don't know that yet, so there it
What if
is.
my mother comes back for me?
This is really what your real concern is.
What if she's just trying to get away from wherever she is? Like we are. If I leave, then how will she find me?
You are fucking stupid sometimes.
I'd say that he's hopeful.
She's not coming back for you.
You don't know that.
I know. I never got nothing by waiting around.
That part is true.
I just want to be with you.
Sweet.
Because you love me.
Yeah.
Quite simply.
I love you too, don't I?
But she's not here
And
now.
I'm going.
Yeah. Good for you, Swiss.
This city is too small for us, Dunk.
Period. It definitely was
Let's
too
show
small
her
for
our
you.
ass.
Or Dunk. That would definitely set some insecurities in him very young in life. Dad who got killed, mom who either abandoned or died. And I'm not even upset with... Oh no, I thought she was leaving him. Okay, I was glad I was wrong. I just felt like if Dunk's not ready to leave, she can't stay.
Price is double. You're not the only ones who mean to get the fuck out of here.
Suppose you're happy.
What?
You've got plenty of time to wait around for your dead mother-in-law.
Okay, sis, that was not his fault. Reel that back in and apologize.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I used to have quick hands.
Oh, really? And then you drank them away?
I'll have the ale skin back.
We tossed it.
Fuck off! Give it back! Give it back!
You're never seeing that again, sis.
We earned that.
Stealing from dead nobles is still stealing.
What's
And stealing from kids? Exactly.
That's life.
Okay. That's why your face look like that.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's a look. If she's promising, she gonna kill you the next time she sees you. Stole from him again. She gonna kill that man. Or at least attempt to. You really should know not to get anywhere near that girl. Shit. And that's why she didn't make it out, huh? Oh, maybe this is the first time Dunk let his anger fly. Because I think he forgot how big that kid is. Ooh! Oh my God! With what?
Leave that boy be!
Arlen! What is with the puking this episode? God damn! Them up, Arlen! A decapitation, bitch! Her! In the pigsty. Thank you, because that man definitely did not need to breed. With Arlen again. With him again. bitches. And he's a knight, so he can kill them. So this is how he got with Arlen, hey? It wasn't you, sweetheart. She was going to go out something like this regardless. She hated her life here. Just sad that it had to be at the hands of such a piece of shit. Okay, so he's lost somebody at the hands of corrupt nobles before. From the look of things, I think Sir Arlen needed Dunk as much as Dunk needed him. Oh, God, no, I guess, yeah, it's not exactly he can find a maester. Or afford one, even if he could find one. Can we also find out what Dunk's made out of? Because his legs should have been mad infected with how dirty it is in that place. It's funny, in this moment with him looking at all of Sir Arlen's stuff, trying it on, it's kind of reminiscent of Egg, right? When we first met him, putting on Dunk's gear, sitting on his horse. The way you just kind of attached yourself to Sir Arlen, the same way Egg attached himself to you. Literally hobbling along. Poor boy. How does he know Dothraki? Sir Arlen, your tales. I'm becoming more interested. Okay, but Arlen actually had skills, though. So you shouldn't have drank that water then? Okay, seriously, can we just call this episode Vomitorium? Because everybody puking. I mean, out of all the different bodily fluids this show likes to show, I'm glad that's, I shouldn't say I'm glad. It's the least offensive. Oh, he's too sick to follow now. Did you stab yourself, bro? Yeah, you need to cut back on the alcohol. Oh, don't keep caught up. This kid's tough. You gotta give him that. You know he's half starved, dehydrated, likely an infected wound, and he's still following this guy for days. Water, yes, he needs water. Oh, you heard what Arlen said, Dunk. You survived worse than this. Oh, his eye. Oh my God. Roll! Oh! Oh. And I know Egg feels horrible because he feels like this is his fault. Thank you. Use your weight. That little bitch is only 2 pounds. You just need to sit on him. He can't move you. He cannot move you. That's right. That's right. Jesus. Dunk, do you want to live? Poor Egg. Thank you, whoever did that. Oh, Jesus. This is horrible. Jesus, Dunk, you're so slow. There we go. Finally. Ooh, not the bitch slap. Yes, sis. It's okay. We all hate him. We all know we hate him. Okay, this is where, Dunk, I know you're not the swordsman, but you're going to have to use something. I just wish Dunk had learned to fight with what his actual strength is, which is his weight. Jesus Christ! This hurts me. You lost an eye. Yeah, I figured take it off. It's not helping you at this point. Thank you. Your weight is the only thing you got going for you. The groin? Oh my God, that's a femoral artery. That's a femoral artery. He will die. What did the horse do? Kudos to Lionel. He stayed seated for a long time. I'm sorry, Maker, but your son's a piece of shit. Dunk. But honestly, the world is better off without that kid.
Get up, sir!
You didn't go deep enough, huh? Damn. Can you hear? Listen to Egg. No, never yield. He's about to pass out. He's not dead. He just lost a shit ton of blood and got a head blow.
Get up!
That's right, Egg. You heard what Sir Arlen said. Get up. You can't die to this bitch. Anybody but this bitch.
He's dead!
He's not.
It's over!
He's not dead, though. You didn't check a pulse. Come on. Give me that deep gasp.
Get up.
He only listens to Arlen, apparently. Do not make him say it again. He just needed to take a little rest, guys. He just needed a minute. Okay? Blood sugar is a little low. He threw up his lunch a few minutes ago. Just give him a second. Your little rich behind couldn't survive a day in flea bottom, bitch. Strength. I know you've never seen it before. Oh, Jesus, his equilibrium's all fucked up. Oh my God. Oh. Oh, geez, Dunk. You gotta use your weight, Dunk. You gotta use your weight. Dunk, all you gotta do is punch this bitch good 3 times and he's out. Thank you. Those punches to the face have been long overdue. Okay. Is he allowed to kill him? They say a yield? Did we hear yield? Okay. Don't kill him, Dunk. As much as I wish you could. Say it louder, though, because it's loud in here. No one can hear him. What does he have to do? Why does no one... Oh! Oh! Oh, the indecency. Oh, the humiliation to be dragged. He's like, say it so these bitches can hear you. Yeah, loud.
I'm returning my accusation.
Bitch. Good job, Dunk. Dear God, it cost you a lot, but you did it, boom. Maester! Maester! Get my baby.
We'll pour boiling oil on it. That's how the messes do it.
Okay.
Wine, not oil. Oil will kill him.
Thank you.
Your Grace. I am your man.
I need good men, Sir Duncan.
And he's a good man. Okay. Maester! Maester!
Sir Raymond, my helm, if you would be so kind.
At once, Your Grace.
All right.
Is he okay?
I just feel like wood.
Did he get stabbed? He got injured, and he's... The one
Get up, sir.
not completely f***ed up Targaryen. And now we're left with Maker's useless ass who's gonna hate Dunk forever? Great.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This wasn't on you, Dunk. You chose to do this.
Get up.
Oh my God, Egg is gonna feel horrible. He's gonna feel like this is all his fault, and it indirectly kind of is. I mean, I didn't expect a beautiful outcome at all because this is the Game of Thrones world, and if there's one thing they love to do, it's just rip your throat out with the nastiness of it all. But God. R.I.P. Baelor, you were actually the only decent one in that bloodline, and now you gone. For what? For Arian's bitch ass? For Maker's useless ass? He's next in line too, isn't he, Maker? It's great, it's great. You know, I mean, I know some people said that fortune teller from a few episodes back who said that Aegon was gonna be king, not to take much stock out of it, but this is the way, right? Because I was thinking at that point he wasn't next in line by any stretch, but Baelor's gone. I don't think Baelor had any kids. He never mentioned if he had any. Maker is likely gonna be next, and he's got 2 useless sons. But I have a feeling this is probably the way. If Aegon becomes king, this is going to be the way, because his father's line is going to become the next one, I think. Oh, Baelor, I liked you, bro. You would have made Dunk a knight, too. All right. Oh, my gosh. There's not much to say in this episode. Actually, it's not true. Let's talk about the storyline part of it, because the battle was, woo, first of all, You gotta give the claps and snaps. That was a great, like to actually show the brutality of what jousting is and what the medieval warfare was like. I feel like a lot of movies don't really get into it, and I understand why. Like, it's, you know, thank God it's a sport that no longer is done, but when you really look at what it would have been like, it's a brutal, horrible, like torture-like sport that went on for entirely too long. And I think they did a good job of just really showing a realistic view of what that would be like, and how just knocked down, drag out awful it would be, and how if you do walk away, it definitely wouldn't feel good for a long time. But anyway, coming back to the flashback, right? So we get into the fight, and as I said during the episode, I like that the show didn't give, you know, Dunk some magical plot armor of suddenly being a perfect jouster and fighter. I think one of the main reasons why, I'm assuming, Arlen never really gave him a good lesson on how, you know, swordsmanship, which we saw in the flashback I'll talk about in a minute. Arlen had skills, but I just think you saw that Arlen was just, that man barely was sober, right? So I just think he was never in a position of sobriety long enough to really teach Dunk much of anything. But all that to say that Arion is a royal, and he would have been trained pretty much since he could hold a sword or any other weapon, how to use it. He would have gone up against the best in King's Landing. He would have had the best of, you know, armorers, the best of swordsmen, and any other type of weaponry. They would have trained him if he had the inclination. So, you know, even though he's smaller and younger than Dunk, I'm assuming he's younger, most likely younger than Dunk, comparatively when it comes to just the style of fighting, he would have outclassed Dunk by a long shot. So I'm glad that they showed that, yeah, as much as Dunk would have loved, you know, to be good, he got unseated almost immediately. He had a lance in his abdomen immediately. He got knocked, you know, like he got knocked in the head immediately. Like, it sucks, but it's realistic, right? Because one thing about, I said this back when Arion first suggested the trial of 7, you know, his dad was like, are you such a coward? You don't want to go and fight him one-on-one. And I said that I don't think that Arion's an idiot when it comes to fighting. Like, if he grew up learning about battle and swordplay and all those things, then he probably would already have known to look at the size of someone like Dunk. You don't want to get a hit from a guy like that, right? No matter how skilled you are, the reality is if you can't block a hit from Dunk, and truthfully, I think if Sir Arlen had really been more sober and more focused on properly training Dunk, he would have taught him to lean into the biggest advantages he has, which are his height and his weight and his reach. No one, for the most part, is gonna match him in those things. He's not gonna have the speed of someone smaller, but Dunk should have been able to swing a sword so hard that there would be no sword and no shield to be able to block the blunt force of his weight. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, Dunk should have gone to a point where he learned how to just really work with the momentum of his body, that if he swung and he connected with you, at the very minimum, you're staggered. At the maximum, you're knocked on your ass. If you go back to Game of Thrones, when we saw the Hound fight the few times in the mountain, that was what they did. They weren't fast, but they made sure that if their hits land, woo, God help you, everything in your body was vibrating for a minute or two. That's the advantage that they had. So unfortunately, Dunk never really got that kind of training, which I understand because Sir Arlen was just a wee man. So how would he know that you could use weight to your advantage like that? But anyways, we see that unfortunately, Dunk immediately blacks out after getting a mace to the head, which valid. And it knocks him into a flashback. You gotta love when you get so hard, you get knocked right into your past. But anyways, we get some history on Dunk before he meets up with Sir Arlen. He was in Flea Bottom. He has no family. He's literally scraping by, going to battlefields and seeing what he can scrounge off of the dead or dying. And we see that he comes across that one knight, and it's very interesting. Like, I always feel like they don't show you something for nothing in a show like this, especially because the episodes are shorter. But he sees that one knight who's laying there, and he's saying, it still sounds like he's trying to say Ma. I don't know if he was trying to say Ma as in mother, or maybe he was trying to say something else. Who knows? At that point, he was literally on his last legs. But Dunk, we see his response is that he tries to effectively finish him, right? And, you know, I get why he was thinking that this is kind of a, what is it, like a compassion, an act of compassion at this point. You know, he's putting him out of his misery, but we see that there is someone who is in Dunk's life at this point, a young lady by the name of Rafe, and she is definitely the leader in their relationship. And that's one thing about Dunk that I've noticed as well since episode 1, is that he's not a leader. He's definitely someone who needs to follow someone, right? He does much better following somebody who's got a little bit more, shall we say, direction, or at least someone who's a little bit more determined, I guess, as far as what they want to do next. Dunk does, it's not to say that Dunk doesn't have his own desires and his own wishes, but he very much does better when there's somebody to lead him. And Rafe was that person for him beforehand, right? So we see that Rafe was like, because Dunk was sitting there thinking, let me put this guy out of his misery because he's got to be in pain. It's, he's not going to survive. But then you hear Rafe say, hey, wait, like, he's still alive. He's definitely a noble if he's wearing all this. We could probably ransom him, get some money. Like, you're not thinking the long game. So they try to, save him. But I already knew that having a horse laying on your abdomen for God knows how long, with broken bones and probably internal bleeding, even if they had managed to get him out from under that horse, he probably would have died before they would have gotten him back to Flea Bottom. So digressing, we get to know a little bit about Rafe, and we find out this is right at the end of a rebellion, and that's what all these battles are about. The rebellion apparently is over now. I guess that battle they were picking clean was the last battle, or one of the last battles. And we hear Rafe saying that she wants to get out of Flea Bottom. She's like, we need to get out of here. Let's go to the Free Cities. And I believe the Free Cities are on the other side, right? That's across the sea. And Dunk is hesitant. Like, he's like, well, if the war is over, then maybe we can just stay. Like, maybe things will chill out, right? Dunk always on a bit of the naive side. And she gives him a truth that is, sadly, it's real, but it's bitter, which is that no one really forgets. She's like, yeah, the battle for now is over, but I promise you, like, the ripple effect of it is still gonna be here, and how long before someone else is gonna come back and retaliate. Like she said, basically, Flea Bottom is where all this stuff tends to, like, we're the ones who end up getting the crap end of these battles. And just because this particular conflict is over, there'll be another one at some point, or some type of retaliation, and we don't want to stick around and be in the middle of yet another one. She's not wrong in the sense of there's cause has effect, right? That's the short version of what she was trying to tell Dunk, is that cause and effect, you can't decouple them. And even though this is done, Flea Bottom was just not a safe place for anyone really, but definitely not for them, considering that they didn't have anything to be successful in Flea Bottom, right? They're robbing the dead. They have no money. They have no family. So we find out that she's actually trying to save money because she wants to get them boat fares to get to the Free Cities. And we see that there's already a problem. There's that, what's his name? I can't remember the name of the loser guard who is clearly ripping these kids off. But we see that Rafe particularly despises this man for very, very valid reason. And it doesn't help that she keeps stealing from him. But I digress. She kind of picks up, right, that when she's getting the money and trying to hawk everything to try to, make some money for this fair, she realizes that Dunk is not really excited, right? Like, he's kind of balking. He's being, he's doing the thing he does where he just doesn't say anything, but his facial expression is saying everything. He asks some valid questions, like, what if we get to the Free Cities and it's just as bad as here, or worse? And she's like, okay, well then we'll go somewhere else, right? She's like, that's not a big deal. Like, we'll keep moving. And he's like, yeah, but what if we go everywhere we go? It's the same. Like, what if this is the best we're gonna get is right here in Flea Bottom, right? And she just kind of looks at him like, for real? Like, what could be worse than what could be worse than this? But I just, as a side note from that, it shows how this has always been Dunk, right? And I think this is also a very much, one thing that they've been showing since episode 1 is that Dunk struggles with anxiety to a degree. Like, he really does kind of overthink things. He does worry a lot. He does second guess a lot. And I have no doubt that that's probably part and parcel to the fact that he was abandoned from a very young age, as far as like not having parents, and then, having to travel around with a man that quite frankly was courting death often. But digressing, his fear of, leaving the devil he knows, as it were, that's very much a anxiety response, right? Like, even though this world, like, I love that she used the word that Flea Bottom is too small for us, right? Like, that's exactly it. Like, Dunk, you have the potential to do so much more, but you're limiting yourself to this hellish nightmare where you'll never be appreciated, where you'll always be abused and used, and where you're probably gonna die of either scurvy, dysentery, or a wayward stab from a drunk guard than you are to live out your life. So why would you want to stay here, right? And it's really just that fear of the unknown, right? Dunk would rather sit there in this trash heap of Flea Bottom, where at least he knows the ins and outs and the ups and downs, and take a chance on something that's new and different and potentially better. But anyway, we see that the real reason, the underlying reason behind that, is that he's not ready to give up on the fact that his mom might still be alive, and that's very valid. And he's like, if she left from here, then maybe she knows I'm here and she'll come back here, right? And, sadly, Rafe has to kind of give him that really bitter medicine of reality and say, like, Dunk, truthfully, if your mother is still alive, if she's not come back, we don't know how old Dunk was at this point, but I'm venturing about 13, 14, somewhere in there. She's like, if she hasn't come back, after all this time, she's not coming back. And even so, who's going to come back to Flea Bottom, right? Look at this place. Does that look like a safe place for a woman to come back to and look for her son she hasn't seen since he was a child? Like, she'd even be able to recognize you, you know, like it's sad, but that is the reality. But anyway, she says like, I'm here, right? I'm here. I look out for you, right? So is that not enough, right? And so anyways, it's kind of a cute moment, but also very sad. But it just shows that once again, that Dunk always kind of needs someone to pull him out of his small-minded thinking. And that was going to be Rafe. And we see that they try to leave. Unfortunately, you know, the price of getting on a boat keeps increasing because now that the war is over and the after effects of that are happening, many people want to get out of Flea Bottom. Many people want to get out of Westeros at this point. So we see that the money that they were saving, that Rafe was saving and having them do all this stuff for, was because she wanted to get them 2 tickets onto a boat that would take them to Essos, most likely. But unfortunately, as it goes, because the war is now ending, a lot of people want to get out of Westeros. They want to leave, so the price has gone up. And we already know how hard it was for them to even get that amount, especially with that jerk guard who keeps trying to rip them off every chance he gets. So we see that that's their first foil, and then they run into said jerk guard, and he's got backup this time. And of course, he wants everything they've got. They find their money, they take it, and there's not much they can do, right? Rafe clearly is not a fighter. Dunk doesn't know how to fight. And honestly, I've said this multiple times before, he's a gentle giant. He doesn't like to hurt people. So he's not gonna fight unprovoked. So then we see that after the guard takes their money, of course, Rafe cannot resist taking his blade because she hates this man, right? And it's not just him, like everything he represents, everything they've gone through, like it's just to see this man go and take, because remember, at least if she'd had that money, they could have somehow figured out how to get whatever the price was now. But now they got to start from square one, knowing that this guy is just going to find them again the next time she tries to hide any money from them, especially now that he knows that they hide money from him. You get the point. Like, she knew at that point they were royally screwed, right? The only way they could ever make money again, potentially, they'd have to get out of Flea Bottom or find a new place to go, because this guy was never going to let them leave, right? He was always going to steal from them because they were easy marks for him. So we see that she steals his dagger, and honestly, I thought she was going to turn around and do something with it. I was hoping she would. Like, girl, if you're going to do it, if you're going to go out with a bang. But, you know, instead, I think she planned on probably selling it. Who knows? I just think at that moment, she just wanted to do like a screw you, pal. You know, I don't think she was thinking straight, and she probably didn't think he would notice that he'd lost his dagger quite so quickly, but he did. And we see that in no time, very quickly, things went from, oh my God, to dear God. And yeah, grabbed that knife and he slit her throat. That was it. He'd had it. And poor Dunk, right? This is somebody, the one person he had for God knows how long, someone who was looking out for him, somebody who had his back, just gone. And there was literally nothing he could have done to stop it. And we see that anger, right? And we've seen it one time before, just a touch of it, when Arion was torturing the puppeteers. And we see that Dunk doesn't tap into his anger often, but it's almost always because people he cares about are getting hurt. That's his trigger. And he jumps onto this guy, takes a chunk out of his neck. But of course, like I said, Dunk is not trained to kill in any way, so he doesn't really do much with it outside of, you know, give this guy a bite mark to remember. But when it gets all bad and they're about to do something crazy, I mean, see, he actually got stabbed in the thigh, which is, or in the calf, which was crazy. But then, of course, they're about to do worse, and Sir Arlen bursts out of nowhere, screaming, "Leave the boy alone." So I don't know if he was hearing what was happening from inside or if he was watching it, but he was drunk AF. We know that. But even drunk, he took 2 men down pretty easily. Like, I think if he had been sober, it definitely would have been quick work. But considering that he had time to puke in between, he did pretty damn good. Cleaned up, you know, got rid of some riffraff that had been polluting them streets for a while. And of course, after that, promptly forgot about it, right? Because I don't really think he meant to save Dunk in that moment. But either way, that was the intervention, the divine intervention that came in and protected Dunk in that moment. And that's what ended up, you know, putting those two together. We see that Dunk kind of had to sit there, lick his wounds for a bit, but then, you know, he's like, who else do I have in this world, right? The last person who tried to protect me is gone, and now this new person came into my life and protected me unbidden. I guess I'll follow him, right? And we see that Dunk just kind of, this big kid, this probably at that point, damn near 6 foot 14-year-old is trying to creepily, quietly, slinkily follow behind this man, which it was actually pretty easy, I guess, because Sir Arlen was so drunk almost all the time. But yeah, like it just shows that like Dunk found a certain sense of safety in being around Arlen, even if it was at a distance. He didn't ask to be his squire. He didn't, you know, do anything as far as expecting anything. He just literally wanted to be near him because it was a sense of safety for this poor big kid. And then we we see that eventually, you know, Sir Arlen notices him. One fateful day, he's actually sober long enough to notice that this lump of a kid is following him. And of course, at that point, Dunk is feverish, malnourished, dehydrated, you know, all these things. But I love that they showed that in that moment when Arlen told, you know, Dunk to get up, you know, drink this water, that get up, that forceful knocking through his consciousness get up is really what keeps Dunk going even now. And so we get back to the battlefield when that happens. And of course, you know, that's the vigor that Dunk needs because he almost got killed. He goes again head to head against Arion. And like I said, Arion's got the skill where Dunk does not have the skill. So he can't beat him when it comes to straight sword play. What he does have on him though is weight. So you see that when he actually grabs him and throws him to the ground, there is nothing Arion can do about that, right? He's outweighed. He fights like a cat, right? That kid, I gotta give Arion, even though I dislike that kid greatly, I gotta give him his twos. The kid can scrap. But really, in the end, it came down to just pure strength, brute strength in this case. Honestly, it was also Arion's arrogance. He should have known going head to head against Dunk was not going to work. But his arrogance, he had to be the one to finish him off, right? But yeah, coming back, we see once again, Arion gets the best of Dunk because of his skills. You know, he stabbed Dunk a bunch of times, giving him 2 head wounds. So of course, now Dunk has got a ringing in his ears. One of his eyes is out of commission. I hope he still has his eye because it looked like he got hit directly in it. But I'm thinking since it's swollen shut, it's still in there and still intact. So, but anyway, you know, a lot's going on. Arion has definitely done a lot, but he did take a few hits from Dunk before that. To the point, and then we see that Dunk actually manages to get a cut on Arion's leg. Now, I personally thought that was a wrap because if you know your anatomy, you know that there's a huge major artery that sits right in your groin area. And if it's severed, you lose blood. Like, it only takes about a minute for you to bleed out from that. Like, it's crazy. I thought that maybe Dunk had hit that, but I guess not. I guess for plot. Killing a royal would have been a lot to, you know, explain anyway. But anyways, I thought it was a wrap. It was not. And we see that unfortunately, like, you know, Dunk's been through it, right? He's already bleeding from his abdominal wound. He was stabbed again by Daemon in the shoulder. His hand has been cut. He's been hit on the head twice. Like, he's out of it. He literally passes out to the point of stopping breathing. I don't even know if his heart stopped. That was possible. I don't think so though. But I think his body just went into shock in that moment and he goes out. And of course, Arion thinks he's dead. And I honestly thought when Arion started to stagger up, I thought he was going to go over there and finish it. But we see that Egg keeps screaming, right? Egg doesn't want to believe it, right? First of all, that's the other thing too. Just a side note, I felt so bad for Egg watching this because, as I said, if Dunk had died, he would have felt so bad, which he still did in the end. But, you know, in that moment, I just felt so bad for him because he's just like, oh my God, all I wanted was to save Tenzel. Why has it gone to this point? But anyway, we see that he keeps calling out to Dunk and Dunk's not hearing it. You know, he's still out of there. But thankfully that get up over and over again, it must have triggered that memory of Sir Arlen. And like I said, for some reason, he only answers to Sir Arlen, even in the afterlife. And Dunk manages to bring himself back. And he's like, okay, no, we're getting up. We're finishing this. Like I said, he'd been through a lot worse. Showing him, and I think that was the whole point of showing, not the whole point, but one of the big points of showing Dunk following Sir Arlen outside of Flea Bottom, him staggering behind him. Like I said, legs still cut open, probably half infected. He hadn't eaten, probably wasn't drinking water, drank the water from the pond that made him sick, so he lost even more water. You know, the heat, cold, exposure, lack of sleep. Like, the point is, Dunk is he's no punk. Dunk no punk. That kid is hardy. The fact that he didn't die of infection or fever or any of those things just from following Arlen when he was so young shows you that that guy is made out of some different stuff. He's a tough kid to kill. So I was like, while all these injuries that were suffered in this tournament were substantial, it wasn't the worst he's been through. To be fair, it's not the worst that Dunk's been through. So he was able to pull it together and yeah, they battled it out to the end. We see in the end really what gave Dunk that advantage at the end, because really, had Arion still been at 100%, he would have died. There's no doubt about it. Like, he was off balance entirely. But Arion clearly lost a lot of blood through that cut, and I do think his confidence was shaken at that point too, because I think he really thought he had the skill over Duncan at that point. But that cut he did not expect. So thankfully, because of that and him being off his game, like I said, all Dunk needs to do is get his weight on that kid, and it's a wrap, because he cannot match Dunk in strength and weight. He just can't. And yeah, Dunk got on top of that guy, bashed him with the shield. I thought he was gonna cut his head off. I was like, oh my God, it didn't happen. But yeah, got that helmet off and gave that kid some punches that I would say he's been deserving since he's been about 10 or 12 years old, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, beat him damn near to a pulp. And he probably would have killed him, honestly. Like, Dunk looked like he was going to a very dark place there, punching that guy. And then finally, we see that, you can hear that Dunk can't hear properly right now. Sorry, Arian's such a bitch. I yield. He's like, mommy. He finally realizes he's gonna die out here. And actually, I will say the one part that was somewhat sad during that is when he's getting his ass beat. Actually, when he first got cut in the leg and his dad and he falls to the ground, you can hear Maker screaming. He's trying desperately to get to his son because understandably that's still his son, piece of crap or not. And that was a little bit sad because I know a lot of people in my comments are like, guys, no, Maker, like he really does love his sons. Like it's blah, blah. I'm like, I get it. I'm not saying that I never at any point said that Maker didn't love his kids, but he also is clearly not a very present or attentive father either. That was my only thing is that your kids don't turn out like this overnight, guys. Like, but I digress. So yeah, he finally yields, and I'm like, bro, the fighting is done. Then Dunk looks around and realizes nobody heard that because homie whispered it. Homie was doing ASMR out on the field, like, I yield. Like, bro, can you speak up? Like, so I love the Dunk dragged his ass, dragged him like a dead body, pulled him by his leg, then grabbed him by the scruff of his neck like a little errant dog and said, speak. He said, bark, dog. End this shit. You started in the first place. So yes, we hear him finally say, like, yes, I withdraw my claim, because that's, I guess, what he has to do. And they finally end it. And you can see that the crowd is like silent because they never expected it, right? They really never expected to see a royal get his ass beat. Pummeled, quite frankly, by this guy who looks the way Dunk looks right now. So thankfully that ends things, and you know, we can stop the mayhem. And we get, thankfully, the second it's over, I love that Dunk's new forms community, the armorer, and then I can't remember the other person. It was the other squire. That's right. They both run up, help him get off the field, because of course Dunk is running on pure adrenaline at this point. And again, showing what a great person Dunk is, the first question he asks is, how many people died? Did anyone die? Because he feels responsible already that these people who were minding their business otherwise have died because of this situation. We find out 2 people did die. Sounds like it was the 2 Kingsguard people. And then we see that Baylor comes in and Dunk immediately thanks him. He's like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And he's like, I'm your man, right? He's like, I want to be your knight. Like, whatever you need, like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And Maker basically says, I need knights, I need good knights, right? And I think his intent was very much to take Duncan on as a knight after all of this. But unfortunately, he said, my brother's mace is likely what caused the issue, because he's saying something's wrong with my helm, right? And I knew the second he started acting like the way that he was moving kind of stiffly, and then the way he's like, I think I need help with my helm, I was like, oh God, something bad happened. Something bad happened. He's got a mortal wound we haven't seen yet. And I was like, I did not expect half the back of his head to be gone. That I didn't expect. Unfortunately, medieval medicine was not ready to handle all that. So yeah, we find out that unfortunately Maker, from the sounds of things, took out his own brother. Was it an accident? Y'all keep saying Maker's a good guy, but he's giving villain vibes. I'm just saying. But either way, pretty much everyone realizes immediately that Baylor is gone. Like, there's no surviving this. And Dunk, understandably, feels absolutely awful. He feels like every person that got hurt out there is his fault, right? And Baylor, the one person in that powerful position who showed him mercy, who showed him compassion, who's clearly shown that he's had an admiration and respect for Dunk from the beginning. The one person with power and authority and reach, you had to kill him. They just had to kill him. So yeah, I don't know what this is gonna mean for Dunk going forward. I mean, as far as the trial is concerned, that's done. They can't really do much about that, but Arian is such a little bitch. I don't see him ever letting this go. He will always hate Dunk because that's the kind of bitch he is. He's not going to respect him now. Maker, I don't know. Maker never liked Dunk either. Again, that dismissive condescension that we saw the second he saw Dunk. This is why I've never liked Maker, guys. Like, I know you're saying he's not that bad, but I'm like, these kids, they became assholes for a reason. Like, this is not out of nowhere. I don't see Maker forgiving Dunk either for injuring his precious psychotic baby. And he's probably I wouldn't be surprised if he indirectly blames Dunk for him taking his brother out. about. Like, plus from the sounds of things, ooh, that brings me back to a very vital thing that Lionel said before the whole thing kicked off, where he said something along the lines of, Baylor, you were your mother's favorite, weren't you? And I think in this case, that was actually father, right? Because someone in my comments said that Baylor and Maker don't have the same mother, they have the same father. So point is, he was a favorite, and it's true. From the sounds of things, Baylor was the favorite child between those siblings. So he said it's always the one who's lacking a mother's love that fights more fiercely, right? So foreshadowing to what Maker did, looks like it was. So like I'm saying, I don't trust Maker, guys. I feel like he's a dick. I'm standing by that. I feel like if he dies very horribly, I'm not gonna be sad about it. If Egg's the person who takes out his own dad, I'm fine with that. I'm not gonna be mad about it. I'm not gonna be mad about it. So yeah, so that whole thing is very sad. It definitely makes for a precarious position for Duncan, but more importantly is that he just feels horrible because this was a good person and someone who recognized the goodness in Dunk and tried to do his best to elevate that type of behavior. And now he's gone. And of course, Egg being there, my heart broke the most for him, honestly. He's a kid. He's a child. He's really the only truly innocent party in this. Yes, I know people were saying in my comments a few episodes back that, Egg screwed up. He should have gone to his uncle instead of going to Dunk for help in that moment. He should have done that. But I'm like, I will absolutely give Egg a pass though, because he's 12. He can't be more than 10 or 11. His voice hasn't even cracked yet. He's a baby. He's a baby. I don't expect babies to be able to know how to make life and death decisions with all the repercussions in mind. In a life or death situation, I don't expect that of him. He was never trained to do that. So I don't blame Egg, but yes, poor kid is going to feel the weight of that because much like in Game of Thrones where Sansa Stark did something that she thought was going to be fairly innocuous that ended up getting her dad killed and then having a ripple effect of a war, actions do have consequences, cause and effect, as Rafe said earlier in the episode. Unfortunately, Egg doing something with the mind and the heart of trying to protect the innocent ended up costing lives, and that of someone he actually cared about. And again, someone who would have been very good for the realm on multiple levels. But here we are, unfortunately. So yeah, we ended the episode on a fairly somber note, unfortunately. Like, yes, yay, Dunk is going to be cleared. At least now he's not going to die at the hands of that Aryan. But the cost was heavy. The cost was heavy for the realm in this case, because they lost what I think would have been a pretty good king, unfortunately. So yeah, fantastic episode. Like, I love how they spliced the battle with the flashback, because while they definitely could have used a good chunk of the episode to focus on the battle, I don't think we needed to see that much. It's gory enough. What we saw was bad enough. We didn't need to see them drag it out for long. It was very, to me, realistic to how long it would have been overall. So yeah, good episode. I enjoyed it. Even though it was sad at the end. I'm very much looking forward to the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I'll see you in the next one.